If you've been on the internet for long enough, chances are you've seen this image, and this one, and possibly even this one. These images are known as cursed images, and yes, some of them are funny looking and have a known backstory to them, but then there are others that are straight up unsettling and you may question where they even came from. In this video, we are going to be looking at the origin of these unsettling images. When you look at this picture, how do you feel? Write it down in the comment section, I'll give you a minute. Alright, time's up. This picture originated on a TikTok video and was given the name of Gatesface.PNG, as it was part of the proclaimed Gatesface incident. Doing a quick Google search honestly doesn't reveal that much. I used phrases such as Gatesface, Gatesface.PNG, Gatesface incident, and the only post related to it was on Reddit, as the image has created a conversation surrounding its origin. The person who uploaded the video, Lost Hood Memes, wasn't the one who made the image, as their account is essentially just re-uploads. So that was out of the question, but if we look at the video, you know what, we might be able to get some clues. Alright, so I guess that didn't help either. So I went back onto Reddit and saw this comment by user throwaway0190381, who stated, "It originated from AI, it's pretty scary, not gonna lie," with the prompt being Jeff the Killer. It was later modified with some filters and posted as a creepypasta. As for the exact origin, aka who posted it first, it's unclear and not worth the time. To which someone else asked for proof behind their statement, and they said that it's on a TikTok account with a ton of AI generated images of different creepypastas. Another username ApprehensiveEar2119 sent a link to the account, and upon looking through the 5 images, you'll see the image we have been looking for. The original uploader is named Mokeman0969. Looking through their account, there's a ton of AI images and pieces of art. And I will admit, I gotta admit, they look pretty cool, I can't even lie. But with this in mind, this brings up the topic of AI images taking up and generating creepy, disturbing images. Some may say that this is bad since a ton of people can be manipulated into believing that AI images are real, while others are just happy that new obscure images are being brought up into the cursed image and internet mystery scene. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, as it's something that genuinely interests me. I've always been intrigued on seeing the new creepypasta or even disturbing image pop up every once in a while. So honestly, seeing this is just great. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to fellow creator Dom, who made a video discussing this image. I'll leave his video linked in the description. But with all that said, even though the image creator has been found and the mystery was pretty short, you can't deny the fact that the image itself is unsettling. What's the original source of the video containing this creepy girl? This image was spotted on creator Florcida Dreams YouTube channel, who makes a ton of creepy art projects. The image makes an appearance in one of her videos called EVI02.cd. The image is said to be from an unknown video that makes the girl look possessed and just distorted. Many commenters have stated that they recall seeing the source video and how it traumatized them as a kid. But despite the bad memories, none of them even remember where it came from. Upon searching for more videos that have featured this woman, some commenters stated that they remember seeing an old YouTube video that showed her. The original video was uploaded in 2006, however re-uploads are still available. While this did show a small segment, the whole video is still missing. But there was a small clue that was left in the beginning of the video. You may have noticed that there was text at the start, and after I managed to do a quick translation, it came out to this. Theater rehearsal scene posted by Kazutaka Yoshimi. So in this case, I searched up the name and was directed to an IMDb page that explained that they are actually a director for a documentary style program known as Honti ni Ata Nora no Video. The program is about a group of people investigating user-submitted ghost-related videos. After scrolling through any mention of the show online, I stumbled upon this comment. Now, according to this Reddit user, they explained that this scene appeared on the 4th segment of the show's first volume. A short blog was written about the episode, and as described by the writer, they explained that A white figure was captured in the video of the rehearsal scenery of the small theater company. It is said that there is a woman who has seemed to have died in a traffic accident just before the performance at the theatrical company last year. A ton of the documentary uploads are still available on YouTube, but even with this, the woman in the video is still a mystery, and from what I can tell, her distorted face is likely from a camera glitch, but that pretty much ends it off for this portion. This image I'm about to show you has been on the internet for such a long time, and I remember seeing it and I've just always wondered where it came from, so I'm gonna talk about it now. The picture is someone dressed up in a Mickey Mouse costume creeping around the corner. The setting is also what seems to be an old abandoned basement, but many were skeptical about this as the boiler still seemed untouched. Upon looking for various versions of the image online, I came across this one image that showed someone pointing a gun at the person wearing the costume, but as it turned out, it was just the work of Photoshop. A Reddit user also managed to find a second part to the image, and it's just as unsettling as the first one. And I know this might be off topic, but there was even a SoundCloud post related to the image, with the title being, "Mickey comes to get you in a leaky basement."
Hi there! Are you ready? Here we go!
Regarding the origin of the image, a couple have claimed that it's just another case of a cursed image that turned into a meme template, and some have even said that the picture has been used in creepypastas. This particular comment suggests that it's just some dude who encountered a dirty Mickey Mouse suit and decided to take a photo of it in an abandoned looking place to make a scary photo. Which, I mean, to be fair, it definitely isn't a bad conclusion. But this is just a theory. I know you guys watching want to find the real answer. After looking at some Reddit posts, I noticed a user posted a link, which led to a Twitter post that mentions the image. The user mentioned that one of their friends dated the guy who was pictured in this viral image. I also noticed that the person tagged in the post quoted the tweet and said, "This is my fun fact I tell at parties." Now, just to be 100% sure, I commented on the picture to reassure that what they were saying was true, and as it turned out, they were telling the truth. Also, I DM'd the person in the original Reddit post who posted the link, and so far they haven't responded yet, but I'll be waiting. I have patience, so hopefully they do respond. They'll respond to me, right? Right? This is a cursed image. This classic picture has been on the internet for nearly 20 years now, and has made many wonder about if it's a well-made watermelon face mask, or simply the work of Photoshop. After a quick image reverse search and by looking through the Wayback Machine, I was able to find it posted numerous times all during different years. Through the image reverse search, the oldest available reference was from October 31st, 2009, where it was showcased on a French blog dedicated to finding the best Halloween costumes. Quickly translating the page, there's not a whole ton of useful information that was found. After scrolling down for a bit, the watermelon lady was shown, and let's just say a couple people weren't too fond of the costume, judging by these comments. But just because there was no useful information in this blog, doesn't mean the search was over. On the Wayback Machine, the first appearance of the picture was on December 23rd, 2005, on a website named Ziza.ru. Instead of it appearing on the lady's face, it was shown on a white cloth and seemed like it was just used as a display. This led me to see if other people were on the lookout for this image. And so, looking at this Reddit post, user Ray Boring stated, "I've been researching this image, and this was the furthest I could go finding the original image of the watermelon. The only thing I didn't find was the girl's picture." To which they then posted two different links, with one of them being directed to another blog. To give some context, the blog is entirely in Spanish. So after quickly translating the bio at the top, it states, "I love my family, my friends, my Salamanca, cooking, good food, a good book, and above all, writing. Writing everything my heart tells me to write. That's why I never stopped doing it since I learned at the age of 3. Further investigating the blog, you can see more food related artwork, and they all seem to have a watermelon as a face, and other fruits are used as different body parts. It turns out that this specific artwork is known as mukimono, and is a form of food art that involves carving fruits and vegetables into sculptures, or whatever the eyes desire. Adding on to this practice is common in countries such as Korea, Thailand, Japan, China, the Philippines, and so on. As any art form, it could be virtually done in any scenario, but for mukimono, it's mainly used to decorate buffets with details alluding to the type of event that's celebrated. Now, looking at the art, I would say it's really resemblant to the original picture. And even though it's not specifically shown in this vlog, the watermelon picture could be an example of mukimono. This leads us with the 2005 watermelon picture to have likely been photoshopped onto this person's face due to the face of the fruit compared to where the human face would be. The only problem we run into is, what is the original picture without the watermelon? As of right now, the only other variation of this photo I found was in 2009, where another person is right beside her, but there wasn't too much information besides that. So with that said, Watermelon Lady is still a mystery. This image is titled The Man on the Ledge, and while there are many different variations of it, this one is definitely the most unsettling. The man in the image was named John William Warde, who was just 26 at the time. He worked as a bank clerk in Southampton, Long Island, New York, and despite having a great job at the time, John Warde was not in the best headspace, as he was dealing with his own personal issues that stemmed all the way back to his high school years. As described by those close to him, he had a reputation of being peculiar and moody, but he was an intelligent worker. He also graduated from high school during the start of the Great Depression. With all of his troubles, John Warde attempted via knife. This was more than enough for a warning bell, and John would immediately be sent to the Central Islip Psychiatric Center. While staying at the center for a total of 3 months, John Warde was officially diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Once he was released, his discharge paper stated, "The patient's manic depressive psychosis seems to have arrested itself." His parents allowed him to stay at their house for as long as they needed to, and luckily, he already had a job lined up for him. His family friends Mr. and Mrs. Patrick A. Valentine Jr. employed him as a companion to their 2 small children, a chauffeur, and a handyman at their travel agency. At this point, they were hoping that maybe, just maybe, this new job would help boost his confidence and make him more happy, because at the end of the day, they just didn't want to see him suffer anymore. But even with all these changes, John's emotions never changed. Only after working for a little bit, John was spotted gazing down the Pont Coquille Bridge in a nearby hamlet known as Hampton Bays. But whatever he was planning on doing didn't happen, as he ran away after a bridge tender spotted him. Without John noticing, the bridge tender was able to get a view of his license plate number, and the police were shortly contacted. However, the officers couldn't really do that much since he technically didn't harm himself. All they could do was talk with him and his family, to which they did as they showed up to his parents' house later that day. But unfortunately, nothing came out of it. So after this intense situation, both the Valentines and John's sister, Catherine Bull, decided to take John on a trip to Chicago to once again attempt to clear his mind off his dark thoughts and to get a change of scenery. But as described by all 3 of them, John still seemed blue and it seemed that nothing was ever going to work. Just a couple days after the trip, the Valentines and Catherine sat down with him while having their lunch in their suite, to which they were in room 1714 at the Gotham Hotel. They attempted to have another conversation surrounding John's mental well-being, but unfortunately, this conversation would quickly escalate. Catherine mentioned that he seriously should consider booking another doctor's appointment, and if he didn't, she would book one for him. She said this in a gentle and considerate tone, but John was considerably upset about this as he didn't want to see one. The situation went from bad to worse, as John quickly said under his breath, there were no hard words, there was no quarrel, and after this, he would inform them that he was just going to jump out the window, before quickly placing himself on the window ledge. Catherine was absolutely terrified about what was happening and she couldn't believe it. She desperately tried to talk his way out of it, and would even phone the police, but while mid-conversation, she would faint. Now, there's a long dialogue and conversation between them 3, so I'm just gonna leave it on the screen for anyone who wishes to see it. John Warde was noticed almost immediately by pedestrians, to which one officer saw him while directing traffic, and with all things considered, they decided to help John. When he arrived to the room, he questioned what John was doing and started to slowly make his way towards him, but John noticed his movement and yelled at him to not come near him, for if he continued, he would jump. As described by the officer, John had a look in his eyes that prevented him from going near him, as he believed if he went through with it, John would actually jump off the ledge. So in this case, the policeman would contact the local fire department for extra backup. But there was one problem. Usually police officers and firemen have techniques and are trained to seize people from threatening. But the position John had taken on the window ledge made it nearly impossible to save him. He was standing too far out on the ledge to be touched from the window of 1714, and the window 1716 was still further away. One of the officers, Lieutenant William Glotzbach, even attempted to go to the window right above him, but he had no luck, as the ledge was right above window 1714. That prevented him from trying to seize John Warde. On top of this, a bosun chair couldn't be used as John would easily see it. Even the canvas life net that the firemen had spread on the sidewalk wouldn't hold a body falling more than 6 or 7 stories. It even got to the point where patrolman Charles Glasgow brought up the point that maybe he would enjoy talking to a stranger instead of a police officer, and so in this case he dressed up as a civilian. When he reached the suite, he offered him cigarettes and water, to which John was perfectly fine receiving the cigarettes, but was a little suspicious of the water. He assumed that it was laced with something, so he denied it multiple times, but after being pressured to drink some, he ended up drinking up to 11 cups. However, John's original instinct was correct, as it was later determined that the water was laced with benzodrine. Surprisingly, this long, chill conversation worked, as they talked about sports, picnics, and Charles' new job as a bellhop for the Gotham Hotel. John was getting comfortable enough to start making his way back into the room. But as soon as he was about to enter the room, a random photographer who somehow got into the hotel and managed to find a suite barged in and started taking pictures of John, to which he then went back onto the window's ledge. Numerous hours have already passed on by this point, and as expected, 55th Street was shut and the press were there recording everything, even including his fall, as after an 11-hour standoff, John Warde walked off the ledge, to which he plummeted down 17 floors and landed on the pavement. At the time, over 10,000 people in the area witnessed this event happen right in front of them. It has been noted that none of NBC coverage is known to have survived, since it was provided live, with TV transmissions typically not being regularly recorded until videotapes were well established in the late 1950s. But with the work of video engineers who had viewed the live broadcast at RCA licensed laboratories, this photo was taken from NBC's 441 line system coverage of the incident just moments before he fell. If you made it to this point of the video, I truly appreciate you for watching. I haven't made this type of video in just over a year, so it's honestly kind of refreshing. I honestly did enjoy making this video, so if you want another part, you guys already know what to do. Let me know in the comments. And if you have some specific images you want me to talk about, leave that in the comments as well. Honestly, I don't really have that much to talk about. I thought this would be a longer outro, but you know what? How are you guys doing? Just let me know in the comments how you're doing, and be honest. I want you guys to be honest. At the end of the day, everyone's going through their own things, so whatever you're going through is completely fine. It's normal. It's just a part of life. But that's enough of me talking for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and as always, have a great one. And I truly mean that. I hope you, the person that's watching, have a great one.